The statement starting on time, again, is a problem for the Toronto Maple Leafs as they lose 3-2 in overtime to the St. Louis Blues, and the Blues now get their 11th straight victory. The Leafs break up their shutout streak, but you lose in overtime. Now, the reason I say start on time, the Leafs didn't get their legs going till about midway through the second period. Man, at that point, you're already down 2-0. The Leafs got outshot in the first period 19-9. And Freddie Anderson's got to stand on his head left and right, but he can't do everything. The Leafs allowed 2 goals, Jaden Schwartz and Colton Parayko. Parayko's one was on the power play. And you're down 2-0 after the first period, and the shots are 19-9. Now, I know the Leafs have been on the road for quite a while. This is the final game of a 6-game road trip. You wanted to get a victory in this. You really did. And you know what? To watch this team go down 2-0 early, it sucked. But then in the third period, the Leafs do find their legs. And yeah, the shots on goal were 8 apiece in the third period. But the Leafs dominated play. Same with like I said, Leafs won in shots 16-13 in the second period. But the inability to start this game at 8 o'clock when it was supposed to happen lost you the game. You could arguably say, the blunder in overtime by Marner, running into the referee and falling, and trying to split the D and split 3 guys. I mean, it worked. But he went around the net and then hit the referee, and then Riley's caught down low, and then it's a 2-on-1 the other way, and it was a perfect shot from Ryan O'Reilly for the game winner. Look, Hyman got a greasy one. Look, they had a huge shutout streak. The only way the Leafs were going to get back in the game was with a couple greasy ones. They got one from Zach Hyman, and Zaitsev fired the puck to Austin Matthews. It hits his skate and goes in. So those are 2 greasy ones, but in the case, you tied the game. But then you go to overtime, and then, that whole spiel happens. But, I mean, you got a point on the road on the final game of a 6-game road trip against a team who is absolutely red hot. I don't care how it happened. I will take the point. Would I love the 2 points after the comeback that was? Yeah. You win some, you lose some, though. It happens. However, it doesn't do justice to me to the fact that they did not start on time at all. They were flat. They looked awful. They looked like they were going to get blown out 8-0. And I'm so sick and tired of watching this team go for huge stretch passes. Because clearly, the Arizona Coyotes knew that was happening, and they shut you out. And for 2 periods of this game, they were doing it to us. And it was working just fine for them. The Leafs were shut out for 5 straight periods. I wonder why. And they weren't really changing things up until about midway through the third period. Well, I guess early on, about 6:34 in when Hyman scored a goal. But again, both goals were greasy. I mean, we'll take them when it comes to the scoreboard and the point that we got. We'll take it any day. But how about some small passes? Enter the zone. How did Zach Hyman's goal happen? Well, John Tavares enters the zone. The puck gets down low. Hyman fires it to the net, and he scores. Instead of trying to go for a long stretch pass from your own zone and it misses the guy and it goes for icing. Or if he does tip it, we're playing dump and chase. Look, back in the old days, dump and chase worked. You don't see it as much nowadays. And if you do, it's more or less when you have a lead. The simple, small, crisp passes get into the zone, set up a little bit, cycle, and get a good shot. Now, it's easier said than done, of course. But when we see this team enter the zone, things happen. Kapanen enters the zone, gets it to Zaitsev, Matthews in front of the net. There's the deflection into the net. You don't need the long stretch. Look, if it's wide open, take it. But don't force it. If you see a guy short and he's kind of got his speed going and he's ready to get into the neutral zone and make a play, or you see a guy up at the other blue line covered, who are you going to pass it to? It should be the guy who's wide open. But that's not what the Leafs are seeing right now. And that's where I'm like, I don't know if that's Babcock. I mean, it must be his system, right? Knowing the speed of the team. But the Arizona Coyotes shut you out. The St. Louis Blues shut you down for the first period and a half. Smaller passes simplify the game. Don't try and make it overcomplicated and go for a beautiful chip-in pass. Oh, I'm going to stop it and then drop it for this guy through my legs. The good teams make the small plays. And when you did make the small plays, you tied the game at 2. Now, yes, the Leafs lost in overtime, but you cannot falter Frederik Andersen, who was incredible tonight. 3 goals on 41 shots, .927 save percentage. He was great in the game today. You know, unfortunate that overtime goal and the Colton Parayko power play goal hit both posts, we thought, and then they play for that for like 30 seconds, and then they blow the game dead because, yep, that was a goal. So, look, you can't blame Freddie for this game. He was spectacular. You got to blame the Leafs for not being able to start at 8 o'clock, well, our time, I guess, 8 o'clock, when the game actually was supposed to start. You cannot play like this on Thursday against the Washington Capitals. You give them the lead, they will beat you down. I don't care if they've been struggling over the last little while. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10. They're playing great hockey. They're playing better hockey. And they're the Stanley Cup champions from a year ago. You give them the lead, you're not finding it again. You play like that in the first period like you did today, you're going to lose that game against Washington. You got to come out ready to go at home against the Caps. Now, that game is on Thursday. The Leafs have the off day tomorrow. I'm hoping they don't practice tomorrow. I mean, maybe they will. I mean, they've had a long road trip, guys. And I mean, look what the road trip they've been on, right? And the times of the games, right? I'm going to go through them here. Obviously, Montreal, fine, normal 7:30, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock was a Saturday night, I think it was. Rangers, fine, like 7:30, whatever. Colorado, 9 o'clock. Vegas, 10. I think Arizona was at 7. And then St. Louis, 8. It's all over the place, guys. So these guys, I mean, look, I'm happy they got a point. I'll take the point the way it is. I mean, I would have loved 2 points the way they came back and played much better in the second half of the game. Yeah. But that's why you got to play a full 60. Now, you hear it in post-game interviews all over the place. Well, you know, how do you think you guys played tonight? Well, I mean, you know, we didn't play a full 60. We got to play a full 60, play hard, play so. You hear all the mumbo-jumbo from all the players and everything. But you always hear, you play a full 60. The Leafs did not. And they lost. You play a full 60, you win the games. Plain and simple. Like in basketball, you play a full 48, you win all 4 quarters, bingo, you win the game. Now, I mean, you can't play a full 60, maybe 55 or 50, right? But the Leafs played, what, I don't know, 30? Maybe? Maybe 35, maybe 40 minutes? Which isn't bad. But that first 20 was so bad. Excuse me, guys. All right? And Saturday, the Leafs are I think they're at home on Saturday against Montreal. Big game there. Habs won today. Leafs lost in overtime. We get a point. 5 points up are the Leafs on the Habs for that third divisional spot. The Bruins passed us, and if playoffs started today, we'd be playing Boston on the road again. Just wanted to leave that there for you guys, all right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed the video, and you guys were frustrated with this game. Smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit that subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below, guys. What do you think of the game? What do you think the Leafs play through all 60 minutes? I mean, I want to know everything you guys thought about today's game, what your thoughts are towards this team and the trade deadline that is looming for this team. Any deals you think this team should make ahead of that trade deadline? Because we know Kyle Dubas is looking at some players, more or less defensemen. Guy like Radko Gudas would be a beautiful fit for this team. Will it happen? Well, I don't know. I don't know if Philly's willing to do that kind of thing. We've also heard about Adam McQuaid. You've heard about Brett Pesce. I think it's Brett Pesce on the Carolina Hurricanes. There's some names rumbling around there, and I think Carolina's been playing well, so I don't think they'd be willing to move anybody right. They're good. They're playing well lately. Let me know what you guys think. Trade deadline moves, the way this team's playing. If you see Boston in the first round, how do you think this team's going to do? And don't base it off of the regular season games because they mean diddly squat. What do you guys feel about that series if it was to start today with the rosters the way they are right now? I want to hear your guys' thoughts towards it. And Evan and I will talk to you guys podcast edition. It'll be Thursday. I apologize immensely, guys, for the no podcast last week. It was one heck of a week. Busy. And obviously with Family Day weekend and everything, it was all over the place, that kind of stuff. So the podcast will be Thursday. Link is in the description for the podcast channel, guys, and for the podcast itself on iTunes. Twitter is also down below. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. And I will talk to you guys Raptors edition. We're again there, Raptor fans. Feels like forever since we've watched a damn game. Now the All-Star game's over. We still have another, 3 days to go? It's too long. It's too long as Raptors take on DeMar DeRozan and the San Antonio Spurs on Friday night at Scotiabank Arena. That is going to be one heck of a game. And every Toronto fan is going to be glued to their TV and watching that game. And anybody who's there, you lucky sons of bees, you guys are going to have a blast because DeMar DeRozan will be back. And it is going to be very interesting to see how he does. And how, with the reception he'll get. I'm assuming it's going to be lovey as it always would, as we always thought it would be. But that's happening on Friday, guys. We'll talk to you guys. Blue Jays edition. You heard me right. Blue Jays spring training preview. That'll be tomorrow. Because the first spring training game is Saturday. It's going to be incredible. But we'll talk about that tomorrow, guys. That'll be tomorrow, early evening, late afternoon. That'll be uploaded to you guys. Actually, probably in the evening sometime tomorrow. Jay's edition, as we talk about spring training and who to look for, who I look at. I don't know, like I want to see what this guy's got. Like somebody who I think is going to impress me in the spring. It's going to be a lot of fun. It might be a little bit of a longer video because there's a lot of things I want to discuss on that video there tomorrow evening. All right, and we'll talk to you guys Leafs edition, like I said, guys, on Thursday as the Leafs welcome in the Washington Capitals to Scotiabank Arena. Leafs are going to get back into the win column after these last couple losses. Even though they got a point today, you still lost 2 in a row. You want to get back into the win column, especially after the road trip, coming back home. You want to get a win under your belt. 7 p.m. puck drop there on Thursday. Braden Holtby, Frederik Andersen, the expected starters in that game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you guys then.